All right, I'm back and getting into part two of my interview with Petra. Petra has a fabulous YouTube channel, which is Magenta Pixie 2012. And we're also talking about some other social networks on the internet. And thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kimberley. One of the things that I wanted to say that we were saying before I took a break here is that I wanted to re-stress is how I haven't really watched much television since the 70s. And it's interesting because I chose to read books about these kind of topics. And I just don't watch much television, and I really never have. And then when videos started happening, I tend to watch more movies. And I'm even at a point with movies that I can't watch anything that has violence in it. It needs to be uplifting or funny because I just can't go there anymore. And it's kind of interesting how that's happened. But now with the internet and how video took off in the last couple of years, it's amazing how much video I watch. And I also have to say that I actually listen to a lot of it. I'm not necessarily sitting there watching it. And I spend way more time looking at things than I ever did most of my life, which is a fascinating thing because I do focus on certain topics. And I also wanted to re-stress something about how there are lots of things going on in the world and there's lots of upheaval, and it's part of change, and it's actually part of progress. My eyes are not closed to what's going on around me, and I bless it, and I understand that things are happening the way they're supposed to be happening, correct?
Yes, absolutely. That's totally my viewpoint as well. And regarding television, I'm very much the same. And, the Nine have told me, about the negative aspects to television. I have to be honest and say I haven't actually got rid of the television in my house. I have actually got one, and I've got two children, and they do like to watch television, although they don't watch television that much either. We, all three of us, myself and my two sons, are very much, for our computers. we are, we find our entertainment and our research and our learning and our connectedness, it all comes from the computer. But with television, there are two programs I watch a lot, and that's because those programs reflect what's going on and, metaphors for what's going on in the real world. And that's Heroes, which is an American series. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and there's so much truth in there. And anyone who watches the series and is feeling these energies will see that. And Star Trek, those two programs I have always watched because they have so much truth in them. But yes, I agree about the horror films and that kind of thing. I can't watch that sort of thing either. I do stay away from it. I mean, I'm not saying I can't watch a horror film. I can if I had to, because I would have to. But I would have to put protective, energies in place to be able to watch the program, and it's just not in alignment with what I'm doing. So I wouldn't really want to watch things like that. But there's it's entertainment, and there's a lot of people out there that like that kind of genre. So that's fine. But yes, I'm far more for my computer, and I think moving into that research mode, when you first wake up spiritually, you want to know what's happening. You want information, and it can come to you very, very quickly from all angles because you've already learnt a lot of this. Many people have learnt this before in other lifetimes. I mean, I'm told all people have learnt this before in one way or another. We've all shared many different lifetimes, many different experiences, so many possibilities and quantum timelines. But when we start to awaken, it's like we're relearning, we're remembering and putting everything back together. So things come very quickly, and research on the internet, everything you want to know is there, really. I mean, and if it's not there, you can put it there yourself, if there's some information that's not there, then you bring it out yourself. And what happens to me, and I know this has happened to a lot of other people who've woken up to that energy, is these downloads that come from the cosmic grid. I call them the cosmic downloads that come at night. You can be researching something all day, or channeling, or meditating, whatever. go to bed at night and have these downloads coming down, or uploads rather, whichever way you want to look at it. They're downloads from the cosmos and they're uploads coming from your DNA. And you are processing them. And then you wake up in the morning and there you go, more information. And whether that's coming from a being or whether that's coming from subconscious information that you haven't consciously taken in during the day and you take it in at night, both of those are true. Whichever way you want to look at it, that is something that starts to happen when you take that journey of discovery. And it's truly wonderful, and it's just happening to so many people. I have more emails than I could possibly answer every day. And so I know that this is happening to people of all ages, and it can be fantastic and amazing and blissful. It can be quite troubling and confusing as well, and that's all part of it, and you work through it, and, you know, you learn and you open your mind and you become part of the 2012 energy.
Thank you. Very nice. Magenta Pixie 2012 is the YouTube channel that you can hear. You have several hundred videos there now, don't you?
Well, I think there's about 140 videos on one, and I've got about 5 on the other channel.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was more than that. It feels like it's that many, but
I'm working every day to get more up.
Anyway, another thing I wanted to talk about is I'm part of something called the Gold Ring, and there's another YouTube channel called Rysa 5, Rysa 5. Rice is he's a really interesting person, and he's been doing a lot of things on the internet, and his messages are very interesting. So if this is resonating with anyone listening, you'll have to check out Rysa 5's channel also. He started a wiki social network. The website is called wetpaint.com, where there are many different collaborative efforts going on, different topics. And I'm part of one that's the Gold Ring, the game of enlightenment and abundance. And the address for that is goldring.wetpaint.com. And I'll have all this information posted on the WZLX website. But it is really very, very interesting to take a look at. Anyway, and that started in March, and there are now 1,000 members. That just came about a couple days ago. And that's been a really fascinating social network because it's a collaborative effort, and it's been growing. And I know you're part of that too, Petra.
Yes, indeed. I am lucky enough to be part of that. I agree. I mean, Rysa 5 is, an amazing person, and I love his videos. And, you know, he really inspired me. He was one of the first spiritual videos I came upon, on YouTube before I released mine. And I remember seeing them thinking, wow, this guy's amazing. I could never, ever channel as good as this. But what actually happens with the Gold Ring, when you become part of this, it's not just a social networking, group. It's so much more. And I mean, all of them are so much more, really. But this, you actually become part of a telepathic collective together. And this is what is happening as we approach 2012. And the Gold Ring is, I think, one of the first groups that are doing this. So anyone who has any kind of anyone out there resonating with what I'm saying, absolutely recommends the Gold Ring and looking into it totally. And what actually happens is, as you join the Gold Ring and become part of that collective, part of that telepathic oneness with the people there, and you connect your focus, your mind energy and your heart energy together, it empowers you. Because we're like resonators. When we stand alone, we're like a little radio, and we can resonate with the cosmos and with our higher self and our guides. But when we come together with other human beings, we resonate with them, and it magnifies our resonating. And that can be done exactly the same on the internet as it can in real life, stood next to one another. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have to be physically next to one another to connect this way. It's telepathic.